And I'm back. There we go. Ain't that something, something, something? And I need to record it. I don't know if I can record this right now. I wonder what the editing does. Does editing kill it? No, I don't think it's killing it. I don't know. Hey, I'm back and I'm moving. So it turns out that one shouldn't mess with the camera settings while the camera's in use, because that doesn't work out too well. Yes, I am back. So you're no same camera. I'm using an Elgato face cam, and that face cam doesn't look Natalie. Hey, yeah. Yeah, that would be me and my tongue. I tell you what, it wags and it causes all sorts of problems, doesn't it? And now my glasses are reflecting. Yeah, I put it like that. Maybe my glasses won't reflect quite so much light if I give a little bit more of an angle. You can actually see my eyes, but now I'm gonna have my BC glasses way up here like that. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yeah, silly me. So the problem I was having is I have multiple Gmail accounts, and I think I have a parent Gmail account and all these other accounts that are subordinate to it. So when I started uh, going to StreamYard and using my Carnivore Scott, I was doing it as if it were a complete separate account. It kept giving me new names and new hyphens, and I was like, "Arr!" And it's all me. Hey, Laura Conway. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Promise 120. You're right about that. I think I've voided my warranty. Any of you all ever feel like that? I know Woodster. I know. I think you said you played some football, and I guarantee you, 20 years in the military, I have probably voided my warranty. Yeah. Hey, Lisa. Good to see you. Welcome back. As I like to lovingly refer to it sometimes, my handle and a lot of other things is Scotty P. So I'll go, welcome to the house of Scotty P with your host, Scotty P. Or something like that, cheesy stuff. Apart. Yeah. Hey, good to see everybody. It's not even an after party. I was walking. Well, I did some of that today too. No, I was watching um, Poco's channel, and he had Robert Bubba Baker on, and it was really good to see Bubba being interviewed, and he is such a stoic, and so watching his interview was kind of nifty. I kind of miss having my Streamlabs desktop on, and they say I can do the Streamlabs desktop and this, but there's a camera sharing issue. So maybe I'll have to get a separate camera, put one camera on here for this, and use another one for StreamYard, and not use this one. That way, uh, I won't have a conflict because I'm not sharp enough. So I asked, and Woodster said that he had done his church and family and lunches and all that. Everybody else have a good time today. Everybody else have a full day of good stuff. A great interview. I asked JT if he had an interview lined up with you. Yeah, early on he asked for things, and me being shy and demure and reluctant to open up. I reached out to him, and I got nothing but crickets. I mean, like nothing but crickets. But that's okay. He's a busy guy trying to gin up his world, and I'm a retired guy, and all I have time to do is fret. Woe is me. Yeah. Now Moses climbed the mountain at 120. Great health. And Caleb took me. I know. And I lovingly say I'm an old man because there was a time when I was younger that I didn't think I'd make the age I'm at now. You know, when you run hard with the lost and silly, the stupid, and the ignorant, the lonely, the hurt, the craving crowd, you void your warranty. Now, not to get all scriptural, but today I read some of my what may become my favorite top verses, right? And it answers a lot of questions for me. It's in Ezekiel, and I've always been kind of leery of Ezekiel when I've heard people talk about it, but it was in Ezekiel, and it was about the topic was the justice of a righteous God, Ezekiel 18, and it was in verse. Well, there's one in verse 23 that basically says, "Do I take any pleasure in the death of the wicked?" declares the sovereign Lord. "Rather, am I not pleased when they turn from their ways and live?" Then you go down further and into verse 32. "For I take no pleasure in the death of anyone, declares the sovereign Lord. Repent and live." So many times, people are talking about death, obviously, and life, and they're afraid of things, and that fear comes from, not having what I believe, for me personally, is a proper relationship, understanding with God. But when you read the Bible, particularly in the Old Testament, even in the New Testament, a lot of people die. And you wonder how God does this, and there it is, right there. It's no, God doesn't take joy in that. It's just, I always used to think of it like, it's a mathematical equation. It's got to balance out. That's just me. So in the carnivore arena, what's been going on for you guys today? That God has planned for you to continue? Yes. Well, yeah, I'll try to do that to all the youngsters the best I can, then in that very same passages of Ezekiel. And I don't know if y'all, by a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with this part of Ezekiel? I'll wait while I sip some water. So I'm going to throw a hand or a wave. Oh, yeah, I've read that. It's that book of Ezekiel 15 times. I don't know. Well, anyhow, in all of this. Oh, if any of you all have a camera and you want to go on and want to help me, we can try to do the 2-screen thing. I'm not sure how I invite somebody. Yeah, not familiar with it. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Woodster. I shied away. I was always reading the Gospels and the different epistles that mainly that Paul wrote. And then of course you have your other ones and Old Testament. But as I said, in reading this version of a 1-year chronological Bible, I was just like, here we go into Ezekiel, and we're going to talk about beasts with 4 faces and 4 animals and wheels, and we did that. But then you read into here and you go on further. So it is not for the faint of heart. Ezekiel doesn't pull punches. But here in the justice of a righteous God in Ezekiel 18, I think if you just read Ezekiel 18, you'll gain a lot. And of course, Ezekiel 17, all of them are good. Come on, let's not get crazy. But it really does help us to see what was transpiring. So I was watching that interview with Bubba Baker, and I watched almost all of his videos. I'm not sure I have watched all of them, but I try to watch all of them because I find him to be a very interesting person with a viewpoint on life that I haven't really honed in on. So yeah, I really like to watch it. So in talking to him and watching his things, and I think Landwar, Jeremy, had said the very same thing this week too. It is all too easy to surrender a lot of our life to this effort here on YouTube, and doing that, we keeping your priorities, right? And that's a challenge. That can be a challenge for us. getting in front of the camera. Laura, I'm going to have to have my techie son to teach me how to do the video part. You know, you'd be surprised if you get a standard uh, camera. A Logitech probably has them if your computer doesn't already. And you just need to have some streaming software. And this, you don't even need to have half the stuff I have. All you need is a camera plugged into a USB port on your computer. You go to StreamYard and it will find your camera and you can test it. So it's gotten a lot easier. Yeah, it is a hard time to find the right balance, Natalie. I think what we have, what would facilitate this effort is if we would show ourselves some grace. Like I was getting frustrated, and I had to tell myself, this is new. It's okay that I don't know all the ins and outs. And by doing that, maybe, I bringing the stress down so that my noggin could work. Okay, no problem, Worcester. I think I've sent it. If everybody doesn't have it, I'm gonna put it here just one more time. I'm not one more time, but I'm gonna do it. But carnivore. There you go. There's my Gmail account I've associated with this, and drop me an email. I mean, we can always work the details out. We don't have to. And it would only necessarily have to go live if we just want to do a chit chat back and forth. I mean, this is just one convenient avenue. Now, of course, it is Sunday night, and I know a lot of you probably have to work, and I want to be respectful of your time. It is just about 10 o'clock my time. I'm in Central Time, so I don't want to get anybody sideways with their family or tired or unprepared for work. Okay, so don't ever let that be an issue for you in reaching out and talking to me, because I can do this for a while and I have a fresh thing of water. Now, speaking of that, anybody got any NSVs today? I guess we could be the NSV gang. How's that count? Should I do a Carnivore Scott and the NSV gang, because I really focus on the NSVs? I mean, other people have all sorts of cute little names for their tribe, and I'm just thinking the NSV gang. I don't know. It's an effort to try to bring a little branding, a little bit of name recognition to what we're doing here. But non-scale victories for me, again, getting into shirts, at least for my chest and my shoulders and my neck, getting into shirts that are in the 2XT. I'm always going to be the XT. I'm always going to have the really tall torso and itty bitty legs. NSV, November Sierra Victor non-scale victories. Hello, Lucia Young. How are you? And welcome to the House of Scotty P with your host, Scotty P, or Carnivore Scott, because either one works. Yeah, non-scale victories. Hello, Eric, Carnivore RN. How are you? So you're an RN there, boss? Have you ever done military RN work, or you always been a civilian RN? That's good. I'm glad to have you on board, and I hope. Hey, by the way, everybody, I want to make sure that we all understand as I'm an itty bitty tiny channel in a great big sea. I have no problem if you throw out your channels and stuff like that. Army, okay, that's awesome, Eric. I worked for 5 years in an Army facility as a data quality manager. So I have a fair amount of understanding the Army medicine, and my wife retired from the same clinic as a medical records tech, Freedom of Information, FOIA, all that stuff person. So good on you. Good on you. I also feel back. Oh, yeah, there you go. That is awesome. Yeah, I got to do the 3X. Some of my shirts got the 4X, and my neck is, generally speaking, a 19-inch neck. maybe a little bit more, but I can get an 18 and a half real easy, leave a little room. So I'm really liking that. Hoorah! Yeah, I worked out at a Redstone Arsenal here in Huntsville. I live in that area. I don't want to dox myself, but I am Googleable. Like not like anybody in the whole world just can't find me. Yeah. Well, how was their data quality? Well, their data quality was quite fine when I was operating it. The problem with the data quality type of job is it's kind of like you're an auditor, and nobody likes an auditor, right? Because I'm telling truth. Previous job, I was considered a knowledge engineer, moving data around, and I've got a master's degree in organizational performance. So all that works together to say, oh, Memphis, Tennessee, sweet. Well, I'm in Huntsville, so you're not even 3 hours away. I keep wanting to go to Memphis, but I hear that some of Memphis isn't the garden spot of the world right now. But I've been around the world. You know how that is. If you've been in the Army, I don't know if you're active duty or civilian attached to the Army, but if you've been in the Army, you've been out there. Oh, married a Marine. You were in the United States Air Force, Lucia? Yeah, I'm retired Air Force. I was what they call the hippy dippy weatherman. Yeah, I was a weather observer forecaster for 20 years. Same job the whole time. Yeah, thanks for your service. That's right. That's right. Man, a lot of good people out there doing stuff, active and reserve. All right, good on you. Good on you, Eric. Yeah. So I love my Army time and I love my Air Force time. Hey, who's your? Want to chat and into this one. All right, good. Civilian life. I know. I agree with you, Lucia. It's been somewhat of well, I don't think I've ever adapted. Let me use that word. In the military, I generally speaking felt that people had my six, and that's not been the case in the civilian world. And then to make it worse, I went into politics for a little while, and absolutely nobody has your back, and it's an inherent aspect of that job. I knew it. I went into it, my eyes wide open. So maybe I can't say anything more about it. That's just the nature of the game, right? Don't like the kitchen. Don't like the heat in the kitchen. Get out. And that's what I did. Yeah. Well, now that I'm all completely retired, and the VA and I are a very buddy. We are like this. Yes, we are. Life's not so bad, but I've got to lose this weight. Hey, I got a question for you, Eric. Seeing as you're one of our resident medically knowledgeable people. I'm trying to pick my words carefully. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is medical advice. Do not construe anything I say as to be medical advice. I am not a doctor, never was a doctor, and I didn't play a doctor or sleep in a chain hotel. However, I had a lot of experience in it, both as a patient and on the other end of it. So here's my question for you, Eric. Don't you think in the hey, good evening, Matthew. In the vast array of knowledge you have, that it would be good for the DoD, the VA, all the branches, if they would do more, focus more on insulin testing versus blood sugar, cholesterol, the things they do. Because, quite honestly, I know that in running and working with the diabetes folks, and I was on the end of counting all the beans, so counting all your RVUs and all the medical coding, that a lot of diabetics just won't take care of it, because I don't think that they've been ushered in and invited into a knowledge base. They're always told this is what you have to do, but they don't really get a lot of the whys. And I think the military would do good that at the 10-year mark, and maybe in a civilian world, right? When you turn 30 years old, they do a insulin test on you, a fasting insulin, or maybe based on BMI and all those things. To say you either get a regular insulin test, or you're going to get a insulin challenge, maybe like a 3-hour test. Wouldn't that be good? I just think, I mean, the VA hospital school, they need to get off the my plate food. Well, you're right. But again, and I'm sure that Eric can talk to this, and I know it's been in the media of late because of everything that happened with COVID, the COVID response, and all the medications. But there's this catch-all phrase. If you go out on the internet and you Google standard of care, that relates directly back to malpractice. And the standard of care says, and I understand why it's there, standard of care says a majority of physicians seeing these symptoms would have prescribed this range of options for care. And if you go outside of it, then you are accepting more risk. You got a bell curve, you got your distribution, and you don't want to be 3 orders of magnitude or 5 orders of magnitude to either side. I understand that. But by the same token, when you're speaking into an echo chamber, you're not getting any sense of reality, right? Yeah, the government makes money off of big pharma. That's true. Hey, Carnivore Chris, I hope you had a great weekend, and welcome into the house of Scotty P, the proverbial and ongoing after-party place where we all can meet up and talk when we can't get in a word edgewise into the big ones, not because they aren't trying. I tell you this from the very bottom of my heart. I have a special place for Homestead Howard Carey. He does a remarkable job to try to get people in, as do a few of the other guys who've been doing some of their stuff. They're really good to call out the chats, and they do a really good job. Yeah, but it's hard to get in. I don't think the VA wants us to die. I don't think so. Why? I think that the challenge is, and you all know as people who are in this carnivore way, there is not one solution. There's no panacea. There's no silver bullet. There's no one thing that I can do that will, let me touch this nerve right here. Oh, I'm all better. No, it's a myriad of things, and it's if you pull a little bit here, all of a sudden something is giving here, and so I don't want to paint with such a broad brush to make it so simplified that we negate the facts that there's a lot of interdependencies that go in, and there are bad eggs, and there are bad actors, and there are actors. I mean, I would submit that most of us have said and done things that we didn't want to do, but we knew we would get 40 or 50 or 80% of what we wanted, so we went along with it, right? I mean, how many of you all have ever had children? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody with children? I raised 3 of them. And you will come across similar situations, but you will handle them different based on the personalities of your children. You're the parent, you're responsible. And then sometimes you'll get with other responsible agencies like or institutions like school and medical, right? And maybe if you get into sports, right? So all of a sudden you have all these competing interests with one child. Then you had 2 child, then you had 3 child. And all of a sudden, and oh, by the way, there's a husband and a wife. So now you've got 7 individuals who have a myriad of competing things. And so you learn to give and take and negotiate, politic, right? And sometimes you just appease the one child so the rest of you can have some peace and quiet. Is it fair? I don't know. But does it get it done? Maybe. Will you have to pay a price for it later? Obviously. That's just how it's done. So to say the VA wants us to die or the government is this or that, I think that's too broad a brush stroke. I've known a lot of really good people, but they're bad eggs. I think we just have to be responsible ourselves. Let's get back to it. Homestead is like the mothership. Well, let's put it this way, I think Ken Berry is the Kevin Bacon. All right. Okay, good night. I think Dr. Berry is the Kevin Bacon of the carnivore community. Everybody 3 degrees away from him, right? Then, of course, you have some other giants in the arena, Steak and Butter Gal and Amber O'Hearn and I guess my Caleb Peterson and Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan. And then you get on down and you're going to get to the Carries at Homestead How. And everybody loves it. And he was absolutely right with Bill Knott up there in Alaska. I mean, okay, dynamic thing. And a rising tide lifts all the ships, right? So here we are on a Sunday night, chitty chatting and doing stuff and trade things. And I really focus on the non-scale victories, and I really encourage you to share your non-scale victories. I went on a 1 mile hike. So what do? We went on a 1 mile hike yesterday, and I also did some laps in the pool and general walking around. So that was a good day for me. How about you all? Yeah, had to duck out for a few. Okay, Laura, that's okay. Carnivore Chris, no children, never married. Yeah, maybe I'll find a fellow carnivore or something. Well, there you go. I mean, sometimes we adopt more children than we had of our own, because I've been running through that today. There's a young man that I've been helping. His parents wanted nothing to do with him, so his grandparents raised him. Grandma went into an assisted living facility when he was 4. He's 18 now, and his grandpa's been raising him for the last 14 years, and he's a little bit on the autism spectrum. And so Grandpa went to the hospital, and the wheels come off that wagon real quick. But a lot of people know this young man, and he was 330 pounds 2 weeks ago at about 5'10"-ish. And he's obviously really, really heavy for his size, and he's young. And so I've been spending a lot of time mentoring him and carrying him around from place to place and doing things. And here we go. I'm going to see if I get the picture. Let's see if we can do this. All right. This is me and my little buddy, right? I can't really see it. And trying to help him with his weight issues and a lot of things. And so I've been busier than one on paper hanger today, helping him out. But I understand sometimes you get kids in your life that aren't your kids. Yeah, Susan Hampton, how you doing? What's going on? Change the standard of care. Well, they do. They have to. And it's not always to each patient's advantage, but I could tell you more about it because I helped to pass some laws to change things for optometrists that were in ophthalmologist world. And what happens, they have this thing called, I want to say a 507 scope of practice. And that's what, it says what each person, like what a dental hygienist versus a dental tech versus a dental assistant versus a dentist, what they can all do, right? Versus a periodontist and an endodontist. And everybody's trying to protect their piece of the pie. So there's a lot of that to go with standard of care as well. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. You guys are lighting it up. That's nice. Okay, freedom. There is no freedom to do the right thing. Well, I can see how you can feel that way. I really do. But, they put a warning on irons that say, do not iron clothes while wearing, because somebody did it. Then they got sued because someone didn't tell them. In this litigious society, it's problematic. Lord, my father was a disabled Korean vet, but he still worked full time. And he got great care at West Point and Walter Reed. That's cool. I agree with you, Laura. I just helped my father. He retired in 1977. He got an initial disability rating in 1977. He's never been back. He's 88 years old and got some challenges, and we got him in the system. I had to go back there to do it because he doesn't have the mental acuity to know all the things to do it. And if you know government, there's paperwork, right? So we went ahead and I went ahead and got him taken care of. They were very good to work him through the system. He got a disability rating back, which took him up to, I want to say 70%, which means he gets a chunk of change. He gets his whole retirement, but more importantly, he gets a lot more medical care. And that's going to be really good going forward because we all know it doesn't get easier as we get older. Let me go back and check some of these. I don't want to miss the rapid fire going on in here. And by the way, Laura, thank you for your father's service. That Korean War was not a popular thing, and it really did take a lot out of the men and women who served there at that time. So again, hats off. From what you're saying, he's gone on and he's standing with God now. But for your family, I know I was a military brat. Then I was in the military. My wife was a military brat. She was in the military. We got married. I deployed. She deployed. I stayed at home. She stayed at home a lot more. So, and then of course we have children. So I've been on all sides of that, and I can salute you on that one. I worked my butt off on landscaping this weekend, shoveling and raking. Oh my gosh, yeah. Didn't get sunburned, good for you. But I tell you, now Hoosier, I'm thinking you have some genetic traits that allow your myelin to really do more than some people who might be more Nordic. I'm just going out on a limb there. And then I saw your latest video. I started watching it. You were doing some smoking. You had the Komodo doe. You had Big Red out there doing some work. So. Yeah, I'm going to have to get back to that and watch a little bit more of that smokeathon you had there. But I guarantee you your butt didn't get worked off, okay? Come on. Let's tell the truth. Yeah, you sweat a lot, you worked a lot, and I know you probably burnt a lot of calories. But we all are, not all, but many of us are in this for just a little bit longer. But good on you, man. I don't know what the humidity is where you're at there in Indiana, but I shudder to think it was probably a little bit muggy. Get your electrolytes in there, young man. Hey, ho, ho. Got all this going on. Hoosier and wow, put me to shame. Okay. I'm going to try something. Let's see what I can do here. Don't forget. Oh, here we go. Yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you doing that for me. All right. See, I'm learning how to drive this beautiful tool somewhat. Sorry. That's what, new comments. What do you say here? Oh, I got so sorry. I'm late for the after party. You never have to apologize at the after party, This isn't like the Hotel California. You are allowed to check out anytime you please and check back in. That was a pretty good reference right there. If I do say so myself. I'll pat myself on the back. There you go. The right time to do it. It's about to get hot. Yeah. Summer didn't leave. Summer's coming back. Brr. I kind of like it. And yep. Are you aware of what the boards are doing to Peterson? It is real life for many of us. Okay. Illuminate. If you're talking about the boards, like what the medical professional boards are doing. I haven't directly, right? Thank you, Natalie, for smashing that there thumb, because Scotty, you only get 1.5 thumbs, because I lost half of this one when I was 2 years old. Kept me out of the Army. Part of my God story. I'm blessed with a little bit of complexion. Yeah. Big Joe made some steak. Yeah. I have not done lamb 40, 50 years. Probably last time I had lamb. Daddy. Oh, Lord, thank you for yours. If it weren't for our military, we wouldn't be here. Well, yeah. We had a 1-day break in humidity at the VA beach, Virginia Beach. Now I'm back to New York tomorrow. Yeah. We've actually had a couple days. Today, I want to say was probably yesterday was a smoker, but earlier this week it was quite nice. It was pleasant. 5 nights. Did you see? Now, how when you put out a video, you can get to the graphic, you can get to the data part of it, right? And in the data part, it will give you all the numbers. And I'm seeing that people are hanging in my video for like 2 or 3 minutes. That's fine. It's okay. But I did that little. I think one of you did comment about uh, my Costco meat glide. As I was just going, saying I fell in love. I did a short, and I could not believe that short's got like 1,600 or 1,100 plus views on it. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm in the meat. And then one of you said, hey, I'd be surprised if you were into vegetables. You take away my carnivore card. Yeah, $5.90. You're missing out, Scott. Do you not like lamb? I don't say I do or I don't. I have to be honest with you. I just haven't done it. I, I don't have an aversion to it. Trust me. I think now I like a lot of Greek food, and they use a lot of lamb, and they use a lot of goat. And I've eaten goat. Somebody from New Zealand inspired you. I wonder who that could have been, huh? Who could have been that? Who's your? No, we have lamb, and they carry lamb at commissary, and they carry lamb at the at Costco, like you said, and I saw it, but I have an aversion paying $6, $7, $8, $10 a pound for meat. I don't have a very discriminatory palate. My palate is quite okay with Biff. So today I had chuck roast. And do you all remember how we've been hearing? I've been hearing things about chuck eye steaks. Well, when you pick up your proverbial piece of chuck roast, so what the guy at the meat counter at Costco said is your chuck roast. You got the big old chuck roast, right? And then you have right before the chuck roast is your ribeye. Probably at this end. If this is the head end, I think going backwards, I think. So the very end of the chuck roast has the end of the rib eyes. And at Costco, they said they do not cut brand cuts. They just go, chuck goes the hamburger or chuck roast, and then you have your rib eyes. And that piece of chuck rib or chuck eye, they just get thrown into their ground hamburger. But if you take a look at the chuck roast, and you see a really nice pronounced curve, like right here, and it's going to be a fairly thick, fat area around it. It's a border. Well, what's under the curve is your chuck eye. So when you're looking at all the different chuck roasts in the meat counter, look for the one that has the biggest, most pronounced curve of fat. Underneath that is going to be your chuck eye, and on top of that is your rib finger. And you'll pay $12 a pound for the chuck eye, or for the rib, or for the rib eye, or for the rib finger. But if you get the whole thing and know what you're cutting, you'll pay $6 a pound. There you go. All right, let's go. You're missing out, Scott. Oh no, I'm not missing. Someone is in. My mom used to make barbecue lamb shank. Okay, it's the only way you could gag it down. I think what happened, my dad made a leg of lamb back in 1974, and the mint jelly thing, and it didn't work for me. Yeah, so I guess I'll just have to try it again another time. I want to get some chuck eyes. So my thing with that Hoosier about chuck eye and rib eye, right? And the flavor. I don't know about flavor versus texture. If that's, I don't know if that's fair to say, texture, meat marbling, fat marbling, and stuff like that. But we have Publix here. I don't know if you have Publix up in Indiana, but only certain, from what I heard, was they have to have a butcher shop in their store, and they have to do what this one butcher called brand cuts, like skirt steak or flank steak or things of that nature. They're cutting it, particularly get that, and you got to pay a premium for the butcher to do that. I don't know. My late husband was 2 years old. He got his pinky finger pinched off at the first joint nail bed. His nail grew over the end of his finger. They buried the tip of the finger in the backyard. Yeah, I cut mine off in a push lawnmower at my second birthday. Yeah, lucky me. It's okay. It made a little steak tartare out of my other part of the thumb, and so I still have a full thumbnail, and it keeps me from picking my nose or the guitar. Meh. Yeah, the bearded butchers. Yep, bearded butchers. Those guys are awesome. The only people I see butcher more meat than them, really, is Dr. Chafee, but he does it without his shirt on. And I just can't compete with that because one, nobody wants to see this. Two, I'd have to put a hairnet on. Ew. So no, I'm not going to do it. So you've never had lamb, Susan? I guess there's going to be some lamb chops, in your future, huh? I saw a bit of it. Yeah, they're very informative. Love their videos. Yeah. I mean, come on, let's admit it. Most of us who are on here have tried to find the end of YouTube. I know I have. My YouTube history is bazillions. Well, okay, millions. Okay, tens of thousands. Haven't had any steak in a while there, Woodster. Steak's okay by me. I like steak, but the price isn't worth it to me. Just calling myself. I mean, ground hamburger. You can do so many things for it. I do like bulgogi. I don't know if anybody here has a Korean background. Bulgogi, but all that is like super soy sauce soaked meat with garlic and flavor and sugar. And then and slice real thin. You put it on the grill, and then I can eat like my body weight in it. I think probably not good with the carnivore lion way of life. I just saw venison. All right. Doing the blessed dogs who was gaming, but it was delicious. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a problem with a lot of wild animals, particularly deer. They're so lean. I know a lot of folks will take that deer meat and they'll mix it in with the fattier cuts. So I don't know. That's like when you grind up other organ meat like heart and things like that. You can grind up the liver and the heart and whatever and put that in with your hamburger and just give it a more full flavor, more earthy palate. Yeah. What is that all about? I don't want to do the Microsoft family thing. That thing popping up over here. Get out of here. Yeah, let's see. Venison. I need to get some Victorinox knives. Victorinox. I please. Elaborate on what a Victorinox. I'm thinking Lorena Bobbitt, and I'm not all digging on that. You know what I mean? No, I probably would need some good knives if I'm going to do any butchering. I have those ones that are good forever. That Cutco. I have some Cutco knives, and I have another piece of steel. I sharpen it, but I don't go crazy on it because I'm just not that good a cook. Hinge pinch between boards that had been pushed at the dock. Yeah. So many people have that happen. I had a teacher. He had a thumb like mine, only he was a dockyard worker, and he had like a 20-ton box come straight down on it. You could push it and guiding it, and he didn't pull it out of the way, and he came down. He didn't even feel it. At that weight, it was so, and he just pulled it away, and the gloves he was wearing, everything were pinched right through. So yeah. No bueno. I looked up Agri-Demi meat site, and they have a decent price in bags and scars. They have a freezer with one sale package. Oh, that's cool. That's good. I know that I looked up for one in each state. There's the Beef Producers Organization, and you can go look at your state, and then they'll have a lot of small producers in almost every state. So you can find someone almost everywhere. But again, it's going to come as a premium for sure. Matthew, anyone eat duck? Yeah, but I I only ate duck when I hunted it, and I did the whole duck, and I didn't eat just the breast. And I got tired of cleaning birds, so I don't hunt anymore. I'm not against hunting. I'm not. I'm really not. But suffice it to say, I'm just not for me these days. That's the knife, the beard. Oh, I get you. I get you. Yeah, yeah. Well, here's one thing, and y'all chip in here or chirp in, but there's a difference between being a professional and buying professional gear and being an occasional backyard griller or whatever else. You know what I mean? Those tools do a really great job, but they also come with a maintenance tail. You really have to know how to sharpen them and get that burr taken care of, and then stropping them. I got some carving knives and stuff like that, and it's a lot of maintenance. They work really, really well, but you've got a lot of maintenance to go. Now, see, I had to use all my really high tech tools so I could make a block of wood. See, a simple block of wood. Isn't it beautiful? I'm not done with it yet because I take my time. That's my attempt at humor. I never had duck. Wouldn't mind trying. Um, if you get a duck from the wild, it will be fattier. Don't get me wrong. But if you buy a store duck and you get a wild duck, you go hunt a duck, you get a hunter to give you one, right? Have them all dress it out. Your wild duck will look scrawny next to the really plump store duck. But you better put a really tall basket and be ready to drain your roasting pan, because when it's all done, the store-bought one will have been shrunk wrapped and look like a prune, and the wild one will have lost some but not look like that. There's way too much fat on the store-bought ones, in my humble opinion. Good night. Okay, well, so thanks a lot. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you helping me out as I do this inaugural live stream. And Woodster, you're really helpful and you're very patient because, ladies and gentlemen, I blew it the first time. I started messing with my camera because I think I'm a little washed out here. And Woodster was so kind to come back in. I appreciate you, but have a good night. Have a great week, okay? I hope that your week goes well. All the things you have assigned and your tasks are good and your children stay healthy. Take care, my friend. Appreciate you. You haven't eaten ducks since the 80s. Yeah. See, I'm right there. I get wild mallard. Yeah, smaller, but they're tastier. There you go. I know mallard, wood ducks, and I used to know a few different ones. But again, you got to go out there. You got to buy a license and the tag, and then you got to get your shotgun shells. And you got to go out there. You got to find them, and you go boopity boopity boop, and you knock them down. Then you got to go grab them, or get a dog to go grab them, or a friend, a small child. Now you've got a whole bunch of dead ducks. Then you got to go through the whole thing of processing them, and it's a process. I'm good. You fish? Hey, good. I like to fish too. My hubby gets to clean cook it. I want meat to come clean, but I'd raise chickens for eggs, maybe a dairy cow. I can't. Yeah, I get it. And you don't have to. Particularly, there are a lot of people that do that business for you. But that's one thing. I helped my dad. My dad decided he was tired of pork prices in the 70s. So Dad had a couple of extra dollars. We had a young GI he didn't even have a proverbial pot to pee in, but he had a lot of time and a lot of need and some knowledge. And then there's an old boy who had a little farmlet. And so what we did, my dad bankrolled buying the pig. We bought 3 pigs at a pork producer's farm, and we took them to the one guy at the farmlet, and he took care of them, fed them, and everything. And the deal was, you would take care of feeding them. We'd pitch in a little food. The other guy pitch in a little food, and the guys who had the yard, he would pitch in the remainder. Pigs are not too particular, and he had a lot of other things. And we all worked, and we fattened up the pigs, and then it came butchering day, and we had to put that big old pig up on a table, and you're doing the gutting and cutting and herring and cooking and rendering and pig skins, and it was an eyeful, but and then we'd each get a pig, and that's how that kind of worked. Oh, you're not too late. No, 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 no. That first attempt more of a test. And then now we are in the real one, the old dog and new tricks. And here it is. I'm dancing the jig. Okay, no, that's all good. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that, Lisa. Hoosier, indeed it is. And a nicely I'll cook a breast sous vide. Yeah, I need to find out more about that sous vide. I like that. Nice. I like to try the sous vide method. Cook a chuck steak and then sear it on the grill. There you go. There you go. I like that. That's a good idea. Now, what does anybody got planned for this week as far as carnivore? Are you going to do what you've been doing? You're going to switch it up at all? Is anybody going to English as a second language? Is anybody going to add exercise into their routine? Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do 4 or 5 days of intentional exercise. Nothing wrong with hunting. That's just not. Yeah, I get it. Yep. Oh yeah, good sausage. That's right. That's right. I think I might go out looking for a side of biff, but you get a side of biff, you get all these pieces and parts of things and whatnot. You got to have a freezer, and I've probably got 30 pounds of meat in my freezer right now. So I think I'm going to wait on that a little bit and see what happens. I'm just now going into my second 30-day period. Today would be, I think, day 32. And like I said, I'm going to try to add, I don't think I'm eating enough. And because my resting basal metabolic rate is about 3,100 calories. Yeah. A sedentary Scot needs about 3,100 calories because I'm 6'5". And I carry about 200 pounds of non-fat, lean body mass, bones and muscle. So it's quite a bit of calories. But yeah, I'm gonna try to eat a little more, move a lot more, and I'm not gonna get on the scale. I think I'm gonna try to not get on the scale till the end of the month. So end of August, I'll weigh in, and then I'm gonna try to go all the way through September with no weight, no getting on the scale. Just do what I need to do what I think I've got to get done, and do some more working. Liver pate, yeah. No, I haven't made pate. I've got some liver I cooked yesterday. I started to make like a jerky out of it. I got to finish it tomorrow. But I like to do a little bit of it and leave it in the fridge for a couple of days. That also helps it to dry a little bit. And put it in the oven and finish it. But I would like to make some pate. I like liverwurst, but my problem with buying liverwurst off the shelf is that I just don't know all the ingredients that are going in it, Yeah. Yeah, well, you can get a restaurant. I think pretty much what it is you cook your liver not too much, right? You have to you want to go through it and mash it and pull out any of the connective tissues that may be in there. I'm just trying to be delicate. I know people who've taken like a butter knife and held down one end and then just scraped it, so you get all the liver out, and you leave the harder pieces, right? And so you get all that liver done up, and then you'll saute some onions, and you might have some garlic, but mainly onions. But then saute it and then butter, and then you mix it all in together, and you put it in your little cube making thing. It could fall off, so you just put it in a Tupperware. And for me, that's pate. But there are a lot of recipes out there for that. Yep. All of them OSHAs. I think that's what Dr. Sean Baker was saying they're hiding it, but it's got an ose, and even sometimes they say in flavorings. Because I was looking at some sausages today at Walmart, not sausages, but beef jerky, and it said 0 sugar. But then it said maple flavored wrappings, right? And it had the word flavorings, and I think it had like an ose word and something. I was like, you only can call it 0 carb because as long as it has less than a half of a carb per a serving, and a serving is 2 of them. Well, I'm going to sit down and eat a bag. I'm not going to eat 2. So you eat the bag, and all of a sudden you've got 12 carbs, right? And they're all that, like you said, oses and sugars. Yeah, I think, yeah, I looked into that because I was doing a lot of chicken like 2 years ago. Who's you? If you're not eating enough, then try more. Yeah, that's right. Raise the metabolism. All right. Autophagy and human growth hormone. Yeah, it does. I've read a lot about the autophagy thing, and it sounds like you have too. And I have a question for the esteemed audience, and I think our RN has taken off. I'm not sure, but let me ask this: if you've read into autophagy, um, if you've read into autophagy, and the guy who won the Nobel Prize for detailing the entire process there for one yeast, and this is my question. What I've learned is like if you just use the ADA recommended 60 grams, right? Even though we know it's more, it probably should be 1 gram per desired body weight. So I have to eat 200 grams of protein. Have you ever eaten 200 grams of protein a day, each day, day in and day out? So what I was doing is I was taking chicken and cooking up the big old chicken breast, right? And maybe some thighs. Don't get grossed out here, okay? Peel the skins off, and I'd air fry those. Debone it, and I put it in the blender. And then I pour the chicken fat and like a chicken stock, and I would just blend for 5 minutes on frappe. Of course, I dice up the chicken meat a little bit, and then I just blend it for about 5 minutes, and then I'd add some heavy cream and some salt and pepper, and I could drink 2 large chicken breasts in about 4 minutes. I mean, no chewing, no nothing. You get that chicken down. You can do the same with beef or whatever else. I mean, if you want to get it in the blender, add some water with some flavor from the meat, right? A little heavy cream or some butter. Maybe jam up and jelly tight. Yeah, your food had it. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I like that when they were talking about the shirt that their Homestead How had about compassionate carnivore, compassionate to each other, compassionate to our animals, trying to be, understand that there was a sacrifice there, right? Yeah. One spring, I visited my cousin who had a calf and a cow. We visited Christmas Eve that they were eating pumpkin halfway through the meal. Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. Maltodextrin, yeah. And maltose is the fastest sugar to get to impact your system. Maltose actually starts to be digested in the mouth. That's why beer can be pretty. A malt beer. Natalie Lloyd, yeah, so hard. Her name was Cookie May. Yeah, you just shouldn't name them. I remember being around the 4-H kids. You all know about 4-H, right? Everybody here familiar with the 4-H club in high school? The ag group. So when I was in Nebraska, I lived in a fairly urban area, but I represented a large agricultural area that had a very diverse. We had beef and we had ostrich and we had emu, and they had bison, and of course you had your regular industrial crops, chickens, pheasants, and all sorts of things were being farmed up there. Well, anyway, when I go out to the county fairs and all the different regional fairs and the state fair, it's a big thing, you know. And have any of you been? Have you ever? Lord, I get you. Have any of you been to a state fair and seen the animal roundup? Pumpkin and cookie. Oh my. Well, I had never seen an animal roundup. And the way the animal roundup works is in the same arena. They would do tractor pulls and roping competitions and barrel races and all that stuff, right? They would normally on a Saturday morning, they would fence off half the arena, and all the kids would show up and all the families, and they would have age groups like 2 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to and 10 to 15 or something like that. You know, they broke it up. And all the 4-H kids who'd been bringing out all their animals to be judged would come out, and they'd line all the kids up on one end of the stadium, and then all the other 4-H kids would take their animals and be holding them, and then they'd let them go. And there'd be bunny rabbits and chickens and little baby pigs and lots of chickens and a couple other animals. And what would happen is the kids would run after the animals. And you see a little girl run up and get a rabbit. And you see, but there's always a couple of boys who are really timid. These are city kids, you know, they didn't know what they were doing. And they're in there and they're like, and they're not getting anything. All the country kids are running by and snatching animals over left or right, left or right. But there are a lot of animals. They have plenty of animals for all the little kiddies. So you got these 3 boys. They're probably 8 years old, and they've been chasing this one chicken. And one chicken running around, whoop, whoop, you know, and then avoiding that. Of course, everybody's laughing because everybody is leaving. All these kids are leaving with their animals. I got my little rabbit, and I got my pet chicken, and there are these 3 boys, and I was like this tableau, like a high noon, right at the OK Corral. And the 3 boys like doodly-doo, doodly-doo, and they had the chicken doing the same thing. The chicken's running back and forth like this, and all of a sudden now the chicken's quartered, and the boys are after him. And then the chicken turns around and goes, and run with wing, and the boys are running off. It's so funny. And then some little country boy comes by, walks by that same chicken, grabs it, thump, and pulls it up by its feet, and got his little feet coming through his hand. And the chicken's hanging upside down, and the chicken goes, right? It's like it's all done. So anyway, it was so funny to watch that animal scramble. It was the funniest thing in my life. And then what would happen is the kids would want to be at the fair all day. And they have their little pet animal, and it's hotter than snot out there. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, this time of year. And Mommy, I want my rabbit. I want my chicken. I want my and my little pet thing. And Mom and Dad are like, well, what are we going to do with this? So they make deals, and you sell them, and the kids would come back because they were going to turn them into meat. That was my whole thing. Those 4-H kids, they raise that cow up nice and pet her and love on her. And then it's time to pay the bills. And next year, we'll get another one. Tough kids, those country kids. So from blended chicken like that, maybe I'll allow you to buy it very quickly with all that produce. You might get a, oh, yeah, I'm sure I did, yeah. Oh, you want to talk about greased pigs? All right, Laura, you brought it up. All right, so greased pigs, sheep bucking. Yeah, I did sheep bucking as a little kid in front of a great big huge crowd. It didn't work out well for me. But so I was running for office, and there I am at the big agricultural shindig for the whole county, regional, right? And one of the old boys says, well, now, Scotty, if you want to get in good with the people here, You should volunteer to grease the pig. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and we're going to volunteer you. You're going to grease the pig. And I'm like, all right, I'll grease a pig. I've been around pigs, no big deal. Well, they bring this guy in. He's from England. Lyle, that's his name. Lyle got the nice English accent. Hey, mate, not Australian, but a limey thing. And next thing I know, they bring in this trailer, and the trailer has the pigs, and I say, "It's your turn, buddy." So Lyle and I go into this trailer. Now the trailer was probably 16 feet, and half of it is a place penned up. The other half is like an open area. And they say, "Here's the deal: they didn't use soap. They didn't use grease. They use industrial soap. It's really heavy, thick." And what they said was, well, we're going to let the pig out into the little area with you guys, and you're going to take this stuff. And Lyle done it before. And so we reach our hands, and Lyle says to me, well, which end of the pig do you want? And I said, let me see. The front end has teeth. The back end is, nasty. I'm going to go for the teeth because I know where they are and I keep my eye on that. And they don't spit. So Lyle's like, okay. And that pig comes out. Well, here's what I didn't know. When you have a pig in stress, they can become quite active. And I know that pigs will eat each other. They're carnivorous, and they will eat you if you're not careful. They'll eat you. So I know the pig, and I know how to handle a pig to a point. You don't have to. No kid gloves here. You know what I mean? And so that pig comes out, and I'm on top of it, and I'm on its neck, and it got its ears, and I'm shoving its head right into a corner. 300 pounds, I think I got some leverage. And until that pig started running around in a circle like it was in a velodrome around my head. I said, that pig is running around me, and it was screaming, and all of a sudden there's the cartwheel's rocking. Do you remember in Jurassic Park, the first one, when they were feeding the T-Rex in the cage? The whole cage was back and forth, back and forth. Well, that's what this little trailer was done. And everybody was like, oh my gosh. And Lyle's screaming. I'm screaming like a schoolgirl. I don't know. I've got this thing is kicking around. Well, when a pig in the morning has been kept cool, that pig will be very active. And then at noontime, its strength is sapped. They can't get rid of the body heat, right? So anyway, this pig was it was squealing, and it was running, and I was punching and shoving, and its back parts are kicking, and Lyle's trying to get the soap all over, and of course it's letting loose breakfast too, and in very delicate arcs. Whew. Anyway, but we got that thing done, and we opened it up, and it was a hoot, and that pig took off. What was interesting is they had age groups for this pig, and the last age group was 21 and over. Was it 21 and over? I think so, 21 and over. And there was some, and it was all women. Yeah, it was for women, all women, 21 and over. Yeah. I tell you what, a couple of girls, where they hit that pig, they could have been linebackers for a college team. They hit that pig solid. And then they took that pig, the winner took that pig over to the butcher. That was going in the freezer. Oh, people taking off. All right, hold on, Ben. Okay, grease pig sheep. Yep, up, there you go, Scott. A lifetime memory. It was actually, oh yes, oh, I've got lots of those lifetime memories. But it looks like we've been on for an hour and 9 minutes, and people are having to drop off. I don't want to cause anybody to stay up past the bedtime like I already have, and I got to keep the peace here in the household and not spend all my time to having fun on the internet. Well, who thought that would ever happen? So sell to the other judge, that would be a bit better. Paying for the forest kid, never knows. Yep. Yeah, I know. It's hard. I mean, I was just now, we have a couple who are from our church, and we sponsor them through the IMDb, and they're missionaries down in Central America. And there was an election today, and they didn't want to stay in country because they've been shooting people there. And so, there are people there that are so poor that they're going through the trash to look for dinner. So, you do trade your values, not your ethics necessarily, but your values do get changed when you're in abject poverty. I know my father-in-law, he grew up in abject poverty in the coal mining hills of eastern Kentucky. No running water, no electricity till he was 14. In a cabin, using an outhouse, getting well water, that type of thing. And he, to his dying day, was not a potato fan because they grew them potatoes, put them in the potato cellar and the root cellar, and by the end of the year, you just were tired of potatoes. Yeah, can't eat tobacco. So I get it. And all those hills are pretty well hunted out, and there just wasn't a lot of great food. It was the land of milk and honey for sure. And his mom, unfortunately, when he was very young, died in an operation to remove a goiter. And we all know that goiter is, they got a goiter belt in the United States, and just no iodine in the diet. So the struggle was real. Yeah. So with that, without any further ado, first, let me tell you all, I really do appreciate each and every one of you coming in, and each one of you adding to the richness of this very first attempt at doing StreamYard. And as I get better at it and other people get cameras, we're going to invite some folks in, and we'll get more sophisticated and have a little more banter back and forth. And you all feel free to invite people and evangelize, if you would, what we're doing here. So I appreciate each and every one of you being here, Hosier and Natalie and Laura and Susan and all the people that were in here earlier. I do appreciate it. And I trust that you all had a great day of worship today. And as I put in my before, I do have another channel. It's at SCOTYP, and at that channel right there is if you just want to be bored out of your mind and hear someone butcher the English language, I've been reading this book every day and recording every single day what is in here. And of course, with today being August 20th, that was the part of Ezekiel I read. So we've read about this much. We have about that much more to go. And the New Testament doesn't start till September 24th, I think. I have it bookmarked. So if you don't want to hang around then, but on or about September 24th, we'll start the New Testament. But on that website, all I have is just reading there. Yeah, I have been. Thank you all. Y'all take care. We'll see you around. God bless, and keep your eyes on God. That's the way to go, right? All right. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye. Let's see how I do this. There's an off button here somewhere. I know there is. No, great chatting with you. All right. Have a blessed night. Bye-bye. Yeah, you need to find another chat channel. Okay. Well, good luck with that, Susan. Appreciate you. Bye.